All right, y'all. I'm gonna start this again because I don't know what the hell happened besides tech technical difficulties. Um I would I thought I was recording, but apparently I wasn't. I was just talking to my damn self. As I was saying though, this series that we're starting today, which I was supposed to record at 2 p.m. That was well over 5 hours ago. Um, is ultimately a playbook for you. Okay, I am helping you understand how to navigate content creation, how to create content that is authentically you and align with your values, not just algorithm driven and performative. Okay, ultimately what I want to do is let this first episode or this first video be an introduction into financial literacy. Okay, this is just one avenue that you can use in order to build some cash for yourself. Okay, passive income, if you will, because a lot of times you are obviously not making money off of content every single day. I think even on TikTok, if you're doing the creator program, there's like you have to wait a week or something for a payout. I don't know. I remember uh I don't remember what the payout schedule is, because the last time that I got paid from TikTok was like months ago. And that's because I have no desire to really be a TikTok creator. It's just something that kind of like it just kind of happened, I gained my first 1,000 followers off of a couple of videos where I was just ultimately being my authentic self, and because of that, I wanted to, pretty much give you my formula, or not even necessarily give you my formula, but give you a few tips, okay, and guidelines to understand how to create content that is again authentic to you, content that doesn't feel overly performative, where you have to, I gotta plan this out and I don't know what to create. Anytime I hear somebody say that they don't know what to create, it's like, what? Why not? Like, it's so easy to know what to create because you just create from your real life. But all that being said, let's go ahead and get into, hey Amber, how you doing? Let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of this. I had already recorded this, but apparently you guys couldn't hear me. So that whole time that I was talking, child, you missed a lot. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, you missed a whole hell of a lot. Um, so, okay, let's talk about this. First and foremost, you want to be a content creator, you don't know where to start. First and foremost, start with the why. Why do you want to be a content creator? If your answer is, I want to be a content creator because I want to make money, well, then click off this video. That can't be your sole purpose for creating content. There has to be purpose and direction and vision behind your why, or you're gonna fail. And maybe I shouldn't say that. That's not fair to say, okay, well, you're going to fail, but it's going to be a challenge for you to constantly create content because the pressure is all surrounding the fact that you want to make money from the content, right? It's not surrounding, oh, well, I'm legitimately just enjoying making this content. This content is easy for me to create. Again, how I became a content creator on TikTok was by accident. I got on there and I started expressing myself and talking about my real feelings. I was just giving some little Aquarius insight, and people liked the shit. And then one of my videos went viral, and I gained a bunch of followers off of that. And then another video went viral, and I gained a bunch of followers off of that. Now, when I'm saying gaining a bunch of followers off of a video, I'm not talking about millions of followers, okay? I'm not talking about thousands of followers. I'm talking about hundreds of followers that pretty much quickly equated to 1,000 followers, which gave me the leeway to do the live streams. Now, this is actually how people are making money on TikTok right now, but I really legitimately do not want to encourage people to do that, because if you think about it like this, okay, and I know for some people it sounds easy enough. Well, I'll just sit there and I'll just live stream for 10 hours. You make money by showing up and streaming for a certain amount of time, right? But if you are sitting on a platform, okay, even if you're at home, you're sitting on a platform and you're talking and you're engaging and you're connecting with people for an extended amount of time. I just feel like that is still exerting your energy. You understand? That is still making you um tired. Okay, it's still exhausting you. And so that being said, no, I don't encourage you to do it that way. I encourage you to create content, and maybe occasionally live stream so that you can connect with your audience, but don't feel like the live streams are what you're going to do every single day, because that shit is exhausting. um Again, I don't think everybody should be a content creator. I don't. I feel like you have to know exactly who you are before you start creating content, because a lot of people who are creating content right now, they don't even have a sense of identity. And so this is why you see a lot of people being um, they're clout chasing. Okay, they're performing. It's performance because they feel like they have nothing else but to perform. Okay, they can reference the coolest people that they know, and cosplay those people's personalities and whatnot, but they don't truly know who they are. And that's why this is something that's not going to be a longevity thing for those types of creators. I'm talking to people who legitimately want to build something, um, that takes you further. You know what I'm saying? So maybe start with the content, but the content really is just a gateway to landing your first brand deal. So that was really the purpose of this stream. Again, this stream is really going to lead into next week's streams, which we're going to get into financial literacy. We're going to start talking about LLCs and incorporations, holding companies, and trust. Okay, things that I knew nothing about when I first started my first incorporation in 2019. House of Wolf is a sorry, I'm reading a message. House of Wolf is my creative agency slash creative house, and this is my first incorporation. But I quickly found out that, in order to really truly protect yourself and in order to really truly build an empire, you want to form a trust. Okay, you want to form a holding company and you want to form a trust. So we'll be talking about that stuff in further later videos. But to get back to the content creation aspect of things, which I do feel a little bit discombobulated, because, like I said, I was recording for about 25 minutes and it wasn't nothing recording. So everything that I said in the previous video, I have to kind of like go back. But ultimately, by the end of this video, I'm going to leave you with a link to the 200 emails. Okay, I have about 200 brand emails, different makeup companies. I got ASOS, I got Forever 21. I got a bunch of different types of companies that you can pitch to land yourself brand deals. Okay, now let's just start from where I left off. Oh my goodness, because now my brain is like overly thinking about the fact that I sat there and recorded all that for nothing. Oh gosh. Okay. Anywho, so we're starting with the fact that you want to be a content creator. First things first, what is your why? Why do you want to be a content creator? Write that down. Okay. Now you know why you want to be a content creator. The second thing you want to do is you want to know what your niche is. Okay. What are you going to be creating? What is your content going to be centered around? Okay. Two things that you want to make sure that you always remember: your content must always feel authentic, and it must always align with your personal brand, your personal vision, and your values. Okay, if it doesn't fit these criteria, then you're wasting your time creating content. I genuinely feel, if you're not in it to win it, if you're not in it for the greater expansion, right, beyond just, okay, I created a video and I put it online, then you're wasting your time. And I don't know about you, but for me, every second of my time is valuable. So what is authentic content? What does that actually really mean? Well, it means that you're not performing. Okay, you're simply expressing yourself. You are talking about your real feelings, your real experiences. You're sharing with people your point of view, your why. Okay. People can feel when you're pretending, people can feel when you're performing, and they know that this is all just an algorithm game. So when I am watching something, for instance, and I can tell that it was clickbait, or I can tell that I'm reading something on threads that somebody wrote just for the simple fact of they want that engagement, right? I don't tend to engage with stuff like that. Actually, I just eye roll and continue scrolling. um Granted, I really don't do too much scrolling these days, but bottom line is, if you're performing, people are gonna know. If you legitimately want to build from this, you have to make sure that you're approaching this from an authenticity standpoint. Okay. Make sure that you're speaking from the version of you that exists off camera, not who you become when you hit record. That's why people tend to really like me. I'm gonna say specifically on TikTok, well, wherever, right? Is because I tell it like it is. I speak my real feelings. I am not afraid to be cringe. Okay, I'm not afraid to say something controversial. I'm not afraid to ruffle feathers. I love shaking the table. Actually, it's kind of fun. So yeah, no performance. Okay. um and making sure that you are aware of who you are. Key facts. Okay. The other thing is, when you're choosing your content pillars, make sure that these content pillars are a reflection of your actual life and not just following trends. That's one of the reasons why I got turned off by TikTok in the first place, because everything is about the trends, the trends, the trends. I'm an Aquarius. I don't give a fuck about no trends. So yeah, there's that. So make sure that you're creating content centered on the pillars that actually are a reflection of who you are when you're not online, right? What do you actually care about offline? If you love animals, okay, then start talking about animals. Okay, start showing your animals. Show them misbehaving, show them being silly, show them being smart, whatever. Okay, use your real life as content, though. When you use your real life and you use your real expression, then you don't have to worry about being performative. Okay. Who gives a fuck about the trends? Because a lot of the times, again, the trends require you to be performative. And the only reason why people care about the trends is because they all want to get monetized, right? Everybody wants to get monetized so that they can make money. But again, I'm going to go back to my original statement. I don't personally believe that everybody should be making content. Not everybody knows who they are authentically, and even the ones who do know who they are authentically, they don't know how to be that on camera. Okay. So know who you are creatively. Okay. Know what you want to focus on, whether that's creativity, whether that's lifestyle, whether that's fitness, whatever it is. Pinpoint your pillars. And as you are planning your content, I would say plan your content on a 30-day structure. Okay, so at the beginning of calendar year, or at the beginning of a new month, you already have your calendar for that month. So it's about to be the end of November, right? By the last day of November, I've already planned out what content I'm gonna do, and I've already recorded all of my content for December. Okay, so I would say use a structure that works best for you, because I know your lifestyle and your routine is not the same as mine. So what I have the capacity to do, or what I need for my content preparation, isn't the same as everybody else. Now, when I talk about my content preparation, I'm not there's nothing that I have to do to prepare for my content, with the exception of maybe knowing what location I'm going to go to record the content. But in terms of the content itself and the subject matter, that is just coming from my authentic experiences, my mind in that moment, whatever you want to call it, right? A lot of that content is recorded on the spot, and maybe there's just aspects that I've planned out. So let's just put it like this. uh I'm gonna make content for 5 days, and every single day I'm gonna make content about designing. Okay, I'm making content about designing. So for 5 days, maybe I don't plan out word for word what I'm saying, but I simply plan out, okay, I'm going to come from the angle of here's a day in my life experience, here's a POV experience, things like that, right? And then use your background, use your circumstances, use your setting at home as your backdrop for the content. Okay, so my content schedule is really just based on the brands that I want to amplify through that content, or the call to action that I want to showcase in that content. Okay, so it doesn't matter if I'm talking about astrology or I'm talking shit about relationships or whatever else. At the end of that video, I know how to position my call to action or my intention, right? So that there is a goal that is reached by the time somebody stops watching that video. 9 times out of 10, it's just that people end up following me, right? And then they engage with me. A lot of times people are just engaging in the comments or sliding in my inbox and chatting with me that way. And I use that as kind of my strategy to get people over to the House of Wolf Discord, and of course over here on YouTube and such. So your angle and your reasoning is going to be different, so just know what your why is. Okay, and make sure you're hitting those points by creating a content strategy and a schedule for yourself, whatever a schedule that looks like for you. You don't have to create content every single day. I don't create content every day. I mean, hello. But when I do, I already know exactly what I'm going to create. And in the times where it's kind of impulsive, actually, the content that's impulsive seems to do more numbers than the content that I planned out, even though I'm still just speaking, from um it's like an intuitive, I'm speaking right here and there. As soon as I start recording, it's not a script or anything. It still just feels like anything that I don't plan seems to do better numbers. So I don't know why that is, but that's how it works for me. um I would say one of the key factors in creating content is coming from the angle of creating some type of awareness, teaching people about something. Okay, try not to create from. You can entertain people, sure, but what's going to hold more weight and what's going to bring more value to your people? Well, creating content where you're teaching people stuff. Okay, or at the very least, expressing yourself and creating a space where other people could feel inspired to express themselves too. You dig it? Okay. Before you create any content, okay, make sure that well, before you post any content, make sure that you ask yourself, am I doing this because I'm feeling inspired? Okay. Is this inspiration post, or is this an insecurity post? Am I doing this because I want validation, or am I doing this because I legitimately want to share something with other people? Okay. If it's sharing and it's inspiration, amazing. If it's validation, you're gonna be checking every 5 seconds to see who liked the post, who's seen the post, how much traction is it getting. And that is a key component in what forces content that is a key component that creates failure for content creators. Okay, it's the biggest reason why content creators fail, because they're not seeing the numbers, they're not seeing the action, they're not seeing the results that they wanted, and so then they're like, oh man, I'm gonna give this up. But what I've learned from TikTok and other platforms as well, a lot of times it's a slow burn. A lot of times there's a build up, so you don't necessarily post a video and then boom, 10 minutes later you got 1,000 likes. You could post a video and only 2 people view it, and then you go back 5 hours later and then 100 people viewed it and no comments, right? And then you go back the next day and 250 people viewed it and you got 50 comments. It's just really no telling, and it's something that I feel like you should detach yourself from the outcome of, because that again is what creates that pressure for content creators. That's why content creators get so stressed out, because they're so focused on doing numbers. They're so focused on that clout and that algorithm, and That's not a reason to create stupid to be honest. So yeah. So okay, let's go ahead and move on to collaborations. All right. How have I created collaborations? How have I helped people create collaborations? Well, it's first and foremost letting them know that everybody ain't a good collaborator. Okay, you don't want to be collaborating with everybody. Have you ever been in a situation? I'm gonna just say I have. I'm gonna speak from my experience. I was in a situation where I was doing some content collaboration. Okay, we were working on a campaign, and this campaign, this collaboration was a purposeful one. It's not superficial driven or anything like that. But I meet up with this person, and we're supposed to be recording content, and I quickly realized that this person is more of a clout chaser than anything else. So the things that they're talking about, it's almost as if they are either they've rehearsed it, or they're just speaking from other people's point of view, right? They're using other people's experiences as a means to try to sound knowledgeable. And as soon as I realized it, I felt uncomfortable as hell, first of all, because I can't stand having to be rude to people, because that's what they'll call that. That's so rude. But like, I can't stand having to be rude to people, but also I don't give a fuck. If I have to be rude, then I'm gonna be rude rather than be uncomfortable, because I can't stand an imposter. So I ultimately had to call this person out and let them know that, like, I was peeping game, and that I thought that, this collaboration will be a waste of time, because ultimately when I'm looking at the content and I'm feeling cringe, everybody else is going to feel that same thing. You know what I mean? Like, again, going back to what I said previously, people can tell when you're performing. They can pick up when you are pretending to be something opposed to actually being that. So I basically said no to the collaboration, which sucks because it was some travel time involved in everything, and I'm like, I'll be willing to take this L opposed to following through with what we originally planned, because this shit gonna make me look bad in the end. So make sure that the collaborations that you are trying to coordinate actually are aligned with your vision, right? What are your values? What do you care about? Don't collaborate with anybody, whether it's an individual or a brand, that doesn't align with your core values, because again, you're gonna feel cringe, and everybody else is gonna be cringing right along with you. Did you see that shit that Mariah Carey did? That Sephora ad. I mean, right when they were talking about the government shutdown, and then we have all these subliminals. It's just, some things are just tasteless and tacky. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say with that. So when you're thinking about creating a pitch, okay, when you're thinking about putting these ideas out to people you want to collaborate with, or brands you want to collaborate with, the first thing you want to think about is, who am I serving? Who am I serving? You know who you are, right? So if you know who you are, then you should know who your audience is. Now, if you don't know who you're serving, I think that that's going to be a huge, that's going to be the biggest part of why you are creating the collaboration in the first place. So make sure that you know who you are serving. Because let's just say, for instance, I'm a coffee company. Okay, you don't even drink coffee though. You are coming in because I offered you $10,000 to do this coffee commercial with me, and I want you to promote this coffee brand, but you don't even drink coffee though. I just think that, like, that's you could spend your time doing a collaboration with a brand and a cause that actually is aligned with you, opposed to something that was just, well, they was paying me $10,000, so I just said yeah. No, absolutely the fuck not. No, immediately no. I would say hell no. Okay. Make sure that you are creating collaborations that you can also put on your platform, right? Because you don't want to be having these different collaborations that you can't also promote to your audience, because they know who you are, right? They followed you, and they keep up with you, all because of who you stand for, your values, what your brand, how your brand resonates with them, right? In their personal brands. So if you have a brand that you work with, but you can't tell your real audience about it, right? Then I feel like that's kind of a waste of time, because you want all of what you do to make you money before it makes anybody else money. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So focus on why your audience is going to give a shit about whatever it is that you're creating, or whoever it is that you're collaborating with. If you know that it's not going to add any value to your audience, if you know that they're not going to care about it, then you probably shouldn't care about it either. Um, and then what's the result? What is the result going to get you? Um, when you're pitching, okay, I want you to think about these aspects in regards to your pitch. So your pitch is going to speak to these brands, and it's going to say, this is who I am, this is who I serve, this is why my audience cares about this is the transformation that I provide by doing this, and this is the result that they will get. Okay, this is the result that the brand that you want to collaborate will get by working with you. Okay, so your pitch is something that you want to already have down. Now, I told you at the end of this video, I'm going to link the, I'm not going to link it though. I want you to hit up the Discord for this, because it's in the briefcase on the Discord. It There are 200 emails, okay, 200 brand emails that I have compiled in a Google document. Okay, you can add more emails to this as you continue on your content creation journey. And how do you find brand emails? Well, that's a whole nother situation. Okay, just focus on the 200 that I've already given you. Okay, and work with what you got from there. Um but yeah, make sure you have your pitch already laid out, and just start emailing brands. Okay, make sure that you leverage your strengths, leverage your skills, okay, and your abilities, whatever that is. So if it's community building, if it's awareness, whatever it is, leverage those aspects when you are um pitching to these brands, okay, and these individuals that you want to collaborate with as well. Brands care more about connection opposed to views. Okay, so uh it doesn't matter to me as a clothing designer that you got 10,000 people to view your posts that you created in my latest garments if those 10,000 people did nothing but view that video. I care about what happens after they view the video. So do they come over to my website and then purchase something? What do I get out of it? Okay, so when you're pitching to brands, make sure that you're expressing at the very end of that pitch what these brands are going to gain from these collaborations. Okay, okay, okay. So um here's how you can use your collaboration to make money. Okay, you can package your deliverables like you are an agency. So House of Wolf is a hybrid creative agency and production house, right? So we create, okay, as well as we offer creation to other brands and companies who need our services, artists and that sort of thing, right? So as an agency, I would tell you, the client, right? Well, here's what I'm going to provide to you. This is why we should collaborate. Okay, this is why we should partner, because I'm going to provide to you this. I don't want to just say, here's what I want from you. I want you to pay me $250. Why do you want the $250? What is going to be received from that for that $250? So this is what you do. Okay, here's my bundle that I'm offering you. Instead of saying to this brand, this brand that you want to collaborate with, yeah, I'll make a video for you for $200. Tell your brand, all right, I'm going to deliver this bundle to you. I will create one TikTok video for you. I'll create one reel for you. I'll create an email newsletter feature for you. I'll do a Discord activation for you, and I'll put a mention on my Threads platform for you. Okay. Now, what I hear, if I was a brand, well, I am a brand. If I hear as the brand, right? I hear there are five different points or five different platforms where my people will be able to know about my brand, okay? And I will be able to convert those people into whatever I want to convert them into, right? So make it make sense for me, the brand, and make it make sense for you as well. Don't ever lowball yourself, okay? Do not ever ask for less than what you deserve, because if you look too cheap, then it's like, oh hell no. It doesn't nothing is appealing when it's too cheap, okay? Not in the context of selling something to somebody, right? Not in the context of selling value to somebody, right? Something that looks too cheap or too generic is just like, I'm good. I'll take that more exclusive, more premium product right there. Okay. Thank you. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, if you only want $10, and that must mean the quality of the content is going to be trash. Okay. So make sure you negotiate confidently. Okay. Negotiate and negotiate like a pro. Okay. Act like you've done it over and over and over again. Okay. Don't waver in your voice. Don't have not one little no, speak confidently. Okay. Make sure that your pitch sounds very plain and concise and direct and straight to the point, right? And make sure you sound confident. Okay. Tell me why I should work with you over all the other content creators. All right. You want to position your value and not ask permission. Okay. Don't tell me, or don't ask me, do you think that it'll be okay if I make a video for you? No, I'm here to make such and such for you because this is what I can bring to your brand. This is how I can elevate your brand. This is how I can spread the word about your brand. You feel me? Okay. Your collaborations need to match your long-term brand identity, okay? If again, you are a PETA lover, what is what are the I again, I can't remember what they're called, but the people who do not believe in animal harm, right? So don't be testing products on animals and all that, right? Okay, you're one of those people who is very strict about, you know, animal harm, okay? And I am a company that creates garments from animal hair and animal skin and all that, right? And I ask you, hey, do you want to be in this video? Do you want to make this video? Because now I'm pitching to you too. Because if you are really like that, if you're really out there as a content creator and really on your shit, I'm telling you, there are going to be brands that are reaching out to you. You don't even have to reach out to them. But again, you want to reach out to the brands that you feel are aligned with you, because it just makes you, it gets your feet wet, and it gives you experience in pitching yourself, and you want that for sure. Don't wait for brands to come to you, you go to them. But again, if your content is really yes, it's immaculate, the brands are going to be coming to you as well. But even if brands are coming to you and offering you deals, so I'm offering you to shoot a commercial, right? And I want you to wear this bear skin coat, okay? Are you gonna wear this bear skin coat because I offered you two racks to do it? Or are you gonna be like, hell no, I don't align with that? And obviously you don't have to cuss me out. Like I'm just a brand that's seen you, and I thought that your content was dope, and I wanted to see if you wanted to shoot this commercial for my brand. But if it's a no, then make it be a very clear no, and you don't have to explain shit. Just turn it down. You know what I'm saying? You don't even gotta ever respond to me actually. But if it's me and I really want to work with somebody, I'm gonna probably send you another email, and I'm gonna send you an email from a whole nother angle. Hey, if you don't like that idea, would you want to do this idea? But that's just me though. So yeah, if a collaboration does not fit your brand, it doesn't fit your values, then the rule of thumb is to say hell no. Okay. So let's just go ahead and wrap this on up with me saying this, okay? Make sure you create meaningful content. Make sure you remain authentic. There's no performance in content creation, not for the ones that are in it to win it in the long run, okay? Not for the ones that truly want longevity. The ones who are performing are getting burned out quickly, okay? I promise you it is. It's happening. Um Look for collaborations because this is the way that you're going to position yourself and really be able to scale your brand, okay? Um and then have a schedule, a routine set up for your content creation. Know your why on why you're creating, okay? And know your niches, okay? What pillars are you hitting with your content creation? Have a content calendar, okay? Have a content schedule. Whether your content schedule is I record content Tuesdays and Wednesdays, or I record content, or excuse me, post content, should I say, because I don't agree that you should be recording content every single day. But if your schedule is I post content Tuesdays and Wednesdays, or I post content every single day, there's a way to automate that content and there's a way to batch that content. And I'd be happy to share more insights like that with you if you join the House of Wolf Discord, which is linked over here. But anywho, to wrap this up, if you want access to this document with 200 brand emails, okay, brands that you can start reaching out to for collaborations right now. If you're already ready, okay, you already got your A game on, okay, you done locked in with the content and you are gaining traction with growing your audience and everything, start reaching out to brands, okay? There's 200 brands on this email list. Like I said, there's everything from cosmetics to and I do have a lot of eco-friendly cosmetic brands because that's just aligned with my personal brand. um Cosmetics, clothing, food, okay, I've seen Olipop is on there, Forever 21 is on there. A lot of cosmetic companies that are well-known companies are on there, but also some small businesses. You will actually do I feel like it would do you justice to seek out the smaller brands first, the ones that don't have a lot of visibility just yet. Those that are just starting out, those are the perfect collaborations to make because, again, they're just starting out. And if you're just starting out too, even better because that'll be a perfect partnership. You feel me? Okay, so if you want access to this document, it's gonna be in the briefcase on Discord. Otherwise, I hope this was helpful to you, and I will see you in the next video. I'll be back next Saturday. Okay, we're gonna start talking about LLCs and corporations, holding companies, and trust. And trust me, there's a lot to say. All right, I'll catch you next week. Ciao.